Man, if you are hearing my voice, man, I'm Bike. I'm Christopher Robinson, man. But this is a new podcast. This isn't the Bread Tech Legacy podcast, man. This is the Inspired by Christopher podcast, man. How y'all doing, man? I ain't done this podcasting thing on my own in a while where I headlined it. You could catch me on episodes from on the Jarvis Sam podcast, man. But I'm Bike, man. I'm Bike out here. I gotta do my thing, man. This is me. We gonna get into that, man. Again, this is the Inspired by Christopher podcast, man. Man, before we get into anything, man, go grab my book, Defeating the Struggle, Journal Entries of a Conqueror. That's available on Amazon.com. Also, subscribe to my blog site, InspiredByChristopher.com. InspiredByChristopher.com, man. We bike, man. What can I say, man? We bike. You know, it's time for us to monetize our gifts, but I'm gonna, man, I'm gonna get into that, man. For those of you who don't know me, then you have some who are familiar with me, man. My name is Christopher B. Robinson, man. I'm a special ed teacher in Houston, Texas. Let me take a sip of my beverage, man. You're gonna often hear me take a sip of my beverage, man. Because sometimes I'm gonna be talking and I'm gonna be going off and I'm gonna be saying some fly stuff and I'm gonna have to let that breathe for a second. See, sometimes you gotta let stuff breathe, right? So when I want to let something breathe, I'm gonna take a sip of my beverage. Excuse me for a second, man. And I ain't gonna tell y'all what I'm drinking because ain't no what I'm drinking ain't cutting no check. So I ain't gonna tell y'all what I'm drinking. But yeah, man, I'm a special ed teacher, man. Everybody doesn't have the capability to be a special ed teacher. Everybody doesn't have the gall. Everybody doesn't have the patience to be a special ed teacher. Not only am I a special ed teacher, I work in a behavior room at a high school. I'm a behavior teacher at a high school. So I'm dealing with children's behaviors. Let me take another sip. Because y'all going to respect that. Let me tell you something. If it's one thing y'all going to do, y'all going to respect some special ed teachers. Let me take a sip of that, man. Excuse me. Yeah, man. But, I just believe in, lifting up our children, helping our children. And a lot of our children are in these special ed classrooms. And when I say our children, I'm talking about black people. Our children, because other cultures aren't in position to deal with our trauma, right? To deal with what our children have to deal with on a regular basis. They're not in position to deal with that because they don't understand it. So that's why it's important for black men to be in these positions. Straight black men. Let me take a sip. I'm not going to let y'all sleep what I just said. But straight black men. It is important for us, our children, because, and I'm going to get into, the podcast stuff, but I just need to say this, man. And this is, I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just speaking from a straight black male's perspective. When you look at the Lil Nas X's, I just saw a clip of Lil Nas X with red hair twerking on the devil or something. I'm like, oh my God. Like these are the rappers that our young black men are seeing. And an OG like myself, when I see something like that, I'm like, oh man, I got to reach out to my youth and let them know that it's a better way. Like Lil Troy say, man, got to be a better way. Got to be a better way, man. It's got to be a better way. And I just want to let our kids know that, man, our young men know that, hey, man, you ain't got to run around dyeing your hair. You ain't got to run around showing your behind. You ain't got to run around following these female trends, man. Because you're a young man, man. You're a young man. Man, stiffen up, man. And it's important for us to tell those kids that, because some of us have daughters. And if these men are some of our daughters' only options, my God, our daughters are in trouble. Because we need young, stiff black men that's able to be like, nah, fam, I'm not doing that. That's not, man, I move with some type of integrity, man. We not doing all that. And that's where, and I'm going on this light rant, but that's the message I deliver with, my kids, man, my black kids. I had one kid, young black man, young, decent looking black man, like, oh, Mr. Robinson, I want to dye my hair blonde. And, man, why am I so black? And I say, hold on, man. Wait, what? Who? Yo, what? You black because you God's like. You God's like. That's why you black, kid. And dye your hair. You're a young, straight black man. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't need to bring all that different attention to ourselves, man. We just get out here and we produce. We let the talent, we let the gift speak for itself. I hate to run the sports, but look at LeBron. LeBron ain't got to do all them extra theatrical. Nah, the game speaks for itself. And because the game speaks for itself, the bread is coming. See, when you focus on, and we're going to get into that, when you focus on the work, when you focus on the gifts, the bread is coming. You ain't even got to chase the bread. The bread is going to find its way to you. You know how like when Thor holds up his hand and then he can just hold up his hand and that manar or whatever it's called, the hammer just come to his hand. Boom. That's how I look at the money. Because and you look at Thor is like this God-like creature or whatever. But because I'm great at what I do, the money's coming. Boom. I just hold out my hand and that money gonna find me. So I don't trip on money. And you know what? Let me make a note of that, man. Let me make a note of that, because that's what I wanted to speak on. That's what I wanted to speak on, man. I don't trip on the money. I do not trip on the money. We're going to talk about that. But before I went in that slight rant, man, I just wanted to let that's what special ed teacher. Man, I'm trying to tell my young black men, hey, just be stiff and just, move with integrity, man, and just do what you need to do. You're going to be dating our daughters. We need y'all to be protectors. We don't need you to be scary. We don't need you to look like our daughters. We need you to protect our daughters. Well, my daughter's going to be protected because I'm her daddy. But when you're out with our daughters and daddy's not around, daddy needs to know that the young man that's with my daughter is going to protect my daughter. And if not, I don't want you around, man. And I'm going to teach her not to want you around. But shout out to all my special ed teachers, man, whether you're a man or a woman. Especially shout out to my black special ed teachers. And especially shout out to my black male special ed teachers who are stiff and who know what it is out here. But check this out, man. Why did I come back to podcasting, man? I wanted to participate in a market that I participate in without getting money, if that makes sense. I heard somebody say that, you should participate in the markets that you're into. Right? So, example, I like books. So I wrote a book. So not only do I buy other people's books, but let me write one and let me give somebody a chance to buy my book, Defeating the Struggle, Journal Entry of a Conqueror. That's me participating in the market. I love podcasts. To be honest with you, only time I really watch TV is if I'm watching a black superhero show like Black Lightning or Luke Cage or, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or when I'm watching Insecure or something, or when I'm watching sports. Sports is what mainly gets my viewing pleasure. Pause. That sounded crazy. Pause. But outside of that, man, I'm with my daughter in the mall. I'm on the go. I'm actively moving. So I listen to podcasts. I like audio. Let me put that audio in my ear while I'm moving, man, because I'm a mover and a shaker. Pause. But it was important for me to get back in this market, man. And I think that's, one of my gifts. I feel like one of my gift is I'm not LeBron James. I can't, grab different people, piece them together, put them on a basketball court and win championships. I'm not Mike Vick or Tom Brady or something. I don't throw 70-yard footballs, down the field to receivers and, win Super Bowls or be like this branded quarterback that changed the game. I don't do that. What is my gift? And, when you lean into your gift, my gift is relaying information, whether that be written via my blogs or whether that be speaking via podcasts or via my videos. My 1-minute videos on YouTube, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all those links will be in the description or whatever. But when you know what you're good at, it's important that you lean into that. Cause again, like that's your gift. Like that's what you do best. So again, when you lean into that and you just kind of focus on getting that together, and you have some type of a plan, that money gonna come to that hand like Thor's hammer, man. When he just put that thing up, pause. When he just put that hand up, man, that hammer just come boom, pause. But yeah, man, I had to participate in the marketplace, man. I had to get back out here, man. I love podcasts. I love the Joe Budden podcast. I love the Black Entrepreneur podcast, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint podcast with Jay Jones. I love the Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz. Let me take a sip. I'm still here. But rebrand. Let's talk about why I rebranded, right? So in 2014, I came up with this brand called Bread Tuck Gang. And what Bread Tuck Gang is, if anybody, for people who know me, man, I'm pretty frugal. When it comes to spending money, I don't like to just spend a whole bunch of money on certain things. Like back in the Gap, man, I used to buy like all the Jordans and all the whatever. Now I don't spend no more than about $60 on my shoes. I ain't gonna lie. A few days ago, I bought 2 pairs of Yeezys, but I'm intending to flip those. But I don't spend no more than $60 for my shoes. My daughter, I try not to spend no more than $20 for hers because she's constantly growing. The clothes I have now should hold me down for the next 15 years. I don't like to spend a lot of money on things that don't really, bring value later on. I don't like to buy like a bunch of cars. Like for my family, I don't mind, the baby mama having a car with the warranty and all that, and I'll go walk or ride the bus or jump on my bike. I'm cool. I have no shame. I don't mind doing any of that. But Bread Tuck Gang, man. So that was my salute to just being, money conscious, being frugal. And it just, I just begin to kind of brand it. I got a logo for it. It caught on. And I just, Bread Tuck Gang, Bread Tuck Gang. So when people see me in the street, they're like, oh, Bread Tuck, now it. And eventually I changed it from Bread Tuck Gang to Bread Tuck Legacy because gang often has a negative connotation with it, man. And you just kind of want to make sure you're moving correctly because you have children. You stand before children and you just kind of want to represent yourself well publicly, at least. So I changed it to Bread Tuck Legacy, man. I had the Bread Tuck Legacy podcast. My blog was called breadtucklegacy.com. But the reason I rebranded is because the issue I was running into was when I was constantly going at people, trying to get people to catch on and trying to get people to buy into what I was doing. I think it was a disconnect. It was difficult based off of the name of my brand and the type of inspirational content I was presenting, it was difficult to kind of line them up and make it make sense, right? So if I'm pushing out inspirational videos and I'm, my website is Bread Tuck Legacy, you think that you think I'm Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey talking about, how you should handle money. And that's not what I was talking about. Now, there are some instances where I'll talk about that. I'm no expert in it, but I'm pretty decent at what I do. I'll be all right. My daughter will be all right. My family will be all right. So I'll speak on that at times, but I wouldn't say that that's my expertise. So even though I was building that brand for 6 years, it got to a point where I was like, man, I'm not moving forward. So although it hurts and I've been building this and this is my baby, I had that before I had my child. So, but I had to rebrand. And now, I was thinking like, what makes sense? I look at cats like, it's a comedian called Kev on Stage. That's his brand, Kev on Stage. His name's Kevin and he's a comedian. He's on stage. And I looked at what I do, man. What is my niche? What is what they call a shtick? I inspire. So Inspired by Christopher. That's the brand. And, that's just where I'm at. Anytime I'm doing something, I'm looking for a solution. How can we get out of this? Anytime I'm talking to somebody, hey, man, how can we solve this problem? Like I'm often inspired. My cup is never half empty, it's half full, man. So I'm often inspired, and what I want to do is inspire others, right? So Inspired by Christopher, that's the brand, man. It's not rocket science. I inspire people, and my name's Christopher. And also, man, what I like, man, when you used to get the old East Bay catalogs, the catalogs with the sportswear in it. If a player had a shoe in there, they usually have a picture, like say the shoe was a Nike. They'd have a picture of the Nike, they'd have a picture of the player, and in the description, the shoe would say like, this shoe is inspired by Penny Hardaway, inspired by Tim Hardaway, inspired by Kevin Garnett, inspired by Chris Webber. And I look at myself as an artist, man. I don't paint pictures on a physical canvas, but I could take a blank sheet of paper and I could paint word visuals. I can paint vocal visuals, like through this microphone, through a video. So I'm an artist. So Inspired by Christopher. Yeah, there you go. Make it make sense. But that's the whole reason I rebranded, man. And check this out, man. So with this podcast, man, I'm doing things a little differently, man, because now it's time to feed our families, man. I'm not going to lie to you. So check this out. With this podcast, I'm going to give away one free podcast a month, one free full episode. And even since I'm getting back into it, I'm going to give away a few episodes. But after that, I'm going to release clips, maybe 7-minute clips or whatever makes sense. I'm going to release clips on the normal feed. So if you go to my website, which will be InspiredByChristopherPodcast.com, you'll have the clips of the weekly show. But then you'll also have the option to subscribe for $3 a month. Why am I doing that? I give away a lot of free, amazing content, man, whether it be my mindset videos on Instagram, all them social platforms. I want to say 3 years ago, I did this series called Mindset Monday, where I dropped an inspirational video every week for a year straight, a 60-second video, and people were inspired by that. It was free. Ain't nobody pay for that. When I did the Bread Tuck Legacy podcast, it was free. Every week. Didn't miss a week. Talk about consistency. Didn't miss a week with Mindset Mondays. Didn't miss a week with my regular with Bread Tuck Legacy podcast. Didn't miss a week. Consistency. Time goes on to this. thought goes into this. Even with my blog. Now, at one point, I started that one doing it once a week. But then, I kind of stopped doing it once a week to go back to doing my weekly videos. Yeah, man, time goes into that. I have a daughter. I work a full-time job. So them blogs, I would have to come home, make sure the family's straight, look after my daughter because my daughter loves her daddy, take her outside, take her places, make sure we're spending time, get her to sleep. Then I would have to find time to put these incredible thoughts onto paper, man, or not paper, but into my tablet or my phone or whatever. I would have to find the time to make sure I'm wording these things the way they need to be worded. And I put it out for free. This was free content. So you got Mindset Mondays that was inspiring people. You got the Bread Tuck Legacy podcast that was doing this thing. Then you got these incredible, well-written blogs that are going out for free. For this, man, I got to get that $3 a month, and it's $3. I'm not hitting people over the head. It's $3, man. This is crazy affordable. I'm gonna be bringing you some premium content. I'm going to be, giving my soul, investing into this. And you know what? I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I know my value. And the crazy part, I'm about to contradict myself. I know my value, but I'm evaluating myself low so that everybody has access to what I'm doing. $3 a month. I'm not $14.95 a month. I just need $3, man. And for the people who want to see me win, they're going to rock with me, man. And I have absolutely no problem asking for this. Let me tell you why, man. Nipsey Hussle, man. R.I.P. the great Nipsey Hussle, man. Before he died, man, he dropped this beautiful album called Victory Lap, man. I make sure I listen to it, maybe not the whole thing every day, but I get, because it's a spirit. He left his spirit within. Like, it's just one day maybe I'll do a pod on that album, but he left his spirit within that album. So I have to make sure I take it in every day. Pause. But before he dropped that album, man, he had a couple mixtapes that he dropped, and he sold these physical mixtapes for one, I think he sold for $100. He only printed so many of them, and he sold one particular one at $100. And the next one after that, he sold at $1,000, and they were selling. And I'm inspired by that. The audacity of Nipsey Hussle to evaluate himself at $100 a pop or $1,000 a pop. I love it. And you know what? If you couldn't afford it, it was fine. You could still download it for free. But if you wanted this physical copy, he needed either $100 or $1,000. And I'm not mad at a brother for knowing his value. I love it. And like Jay said, man, you got to set your price and live your life. So for me, man, $3 a month, man. And I did the math, man. I'm trying to retire, the baby mama, and I would rather stop going to work and generate generational wealth from my home, from this microphone, producing content that'll change my life. Drake has this new song, man. It's the Lemon Pepper Freestyle, and he talks about how he'll drop his son off at work, then come home, make another million, and then be able to leave in time to go pick him up from school and have a teacher-parent conference. That's fly. I desire that for me and Nyla. Instead of me having to report to work, I'd rather make money on this microphone doing this podcast at $3 a month. If I have 5,000 subscribers, that's $15,000 a month, and I can do what I need to do. Drop my baby off at school, go have lunch with her, come get her. That's what I want. That's what I desire for myself. That's what I desire for my family. That's what I'm going for. I know my value, so I'm I'm giving myself a shot. You know, I'm shooting my shot. You know, and you know what, man? I've proven that I'm consistent. When I lock into something, I could be consistent, man. Because I look at myself as a business, man. When you're talking about Inspired by Christopher, I gotta operate as a business. You know, when you go to Macy's or whatever, if Macy's say they open at 10 o'clock, them doors gonna be open at 10 o'clock. Because if they say they open at 10 o'clock, but then they really open at 12 on the low, you're not gonna take them seriously, man. You're gonna find somewhere else to shop. So if I say I'm dropping every week, I'm gonna drop every week. Unless, you know, God forbid something crazy happen, which I don't foresee. Hey man, we moving in perfect health, and I'm speaking blessings over my life, my family, over your life, man. We move. Hey man, we moving. You know, we not with them negative thoughts, man. But I'm consistent. So, you know, $3 a month. And you got to monetize your gifts, man. I think this is my gift, and it's time to monetize it, man. How long do you do stuff for free? How long? When you know that you're fly. When you know that you're dope. What if Kevin Hart was, and he's not my favorite comedian, but I appreciate his hustle. What if he was out here just doing jokes for free? No, you got to pay him a fee. Dave Chappelle, this luxury, he presents this luxury product. I don't think he's just out here doing, you know, presenting his craft for free. Now you got to pay top dollar for that. And I'm not mad at it, man. If you put the time in, if you put the work into it, man, you should be paid, man. And that's what it is, man. We have to monetize our gifts. And man, if I've taken my gift and I've, you know, fine-tuned it, and I've, just constantly practiced, and I've, you know, invested in it. Hey, man, it's time to get paid, man. And it's okay. That's fine. Okay? It's nothing wrong with that, man. So I'm here to monetize my gifts, and I'm here to inspire you to monetize your gifts, man. And earlier, man, I mentioned, you know, how if you work at what you're doing, man, that money, they'll come find you, like Thor putting his hand up and the money coming to him. Check this out, man. I've been in positions where people would, if you just watch how people are with money, man, whether it's at work, whether it's with whomever, man, people will scam you for a couple dollars, man. And they're not looking at the big picture. They're not looking at, you know, if I scam this person for $100 and this person finds out, maybe he'll want to kill me, or he may not want to deal with me again. So the way I look at it is, instead of me scamming you out of $100, I would rather do good business with you or be honest with you to where maybe you would come back and spend with me again, or spend with me consistently, man. Money doesn't move me. I'm going to share a quick story before we get up out of here, man. I'm currently working a teaching job in a specific district, but after this year, I'm leaving that district, going to another district. I've been on a couple of interviews, and the other interviews that I've been on, they want to pay me $15,000 more for me to move now. I told them, because I have integrity and I have kids who love me and kids who need consistency, I wouldn't be the stand-up guy that I think I am if I left now for the $15,000 more. And a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy. They look at me like I'm nuts. But because I know my value, I know that money will be there later. I don't have to put aside who I am to go chase money. No, I'm going to be who I am. And that money's going to be there because of who I am. That money's going to find me. So, man, I don't want to keep y'all too long, man. This is the first official episode. I was about to call it Bread Tech Legacy Podcast. It's no longer that. Inspired by Christopher Podcast, man. And we come in every week, man. Just expect me. So check this out, man. Subscribe to me. You could go to my website, Right now I'm working on getting my domain plugged in to my podcast website, but it either is now or is going to be InspiredByChristopher.com. And when I set up that subscription for you to subscribe for the $3, man, subscribe to me, man. Like I said, we're going to put out a few, free full episodes, and then, we're going to get these blessings, man, cuz the work is good. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with somebody, man. Big me up, man. I'm not going to be on here cursing. I'm not going to be on here, with the foolishness. We're going to talk about different things, man. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world. We're going to talk about some entertainment. We're going to talk about some different things, man. But this is the Inspired by Christopher podcast, man. I'm your host, Christopher Robinson. I'll see y'all next week, man. Subscribe to me, man. H-Town all day. Y'all mucho. Take it easy.